Okay, so I got here too late. Jeep in the creep tent. He probably went out for his coffee because he used to get up. He used to get up in the morning and drive out to get coffee somewhere, and then he'd come back and start just playing his music and lounging in his Jeep and smoking weed. So I probably got here when he already got up and went out to get his coffee. But while I'm here, this is typically where he parks, right by here. Actually, look. See how it's wet here? Because it's been raining. It's been spitting and raining. See how it's wet all around? Wet, wet, wet. And then right here, it's not wet. See? You can see the edge here. You can see how it's drier here and wet here. That's because there's been a vehicle parked here all night, stopping the wet from getting on this area right here. See the difference? Wet pavement, dry pavement. Wet pavement, dry pavement. Okay? It's spitting all around you. You can see in the sky. Look, it's overcast and it's been spitting all morning. Like just since before sunrise bit. So wet on the street, wet. Oh, that's a place where lots of cars go to park, so that's kind of dry. There's probably another vehicle there for a lot of the nights. Like, even if one gets up and goes, then that's typically where the next vehicle that comes within an hour or so to park. His is almost permanently right here. Jeep, the creep in the Jeep, his Jeep is almost permanently right about here. And look, see how it's dry? Wet, dry. He was here all night. He went out to get coffee or something. And you can hear the rain. I'm not talking. So we're gonna go back. Here's the nature trail. There's the canal. I watched families bike down here and drive down here and park up and take their little children for walks back here, literally right after he's come back here to take a shit. So, sorry, I'm trying to hold this. I'm trying to hold this and watch where I'm going so I don't step in a pile of his human feces. So this is just a few feet back on the trail, maybe a few yards if you want to be more fair. And let's see if I can't find that one giant pile that I was like, oh my God, ew. Here it is. It's right here. Okay. I'm gonna grab a stick. Try to grab a stick so I'm not touching the the trunk or whatever, and I don't even know what sticks to grab around here because I know he comes back here and he pees for sure too. He probably just pees right up against the trees and the bushes that the kids are just, all these trees and bushes here. See, look, all along right here here's the big piece of bark I picked up. I said in another video I picked a big piece of bark and under it was a giant pile of poo. Okay, so I'm scared to touch the bark. Let's grab, I'm just trying to grab something, some kind of, here's a stick. Okay, stick. So let's do this. Oh yeah, there it is, see? Giant piles of human feces. Dogs don't cover up their poo with tree bark. There's one pile I found. Absolutely disgusting. And it was bigger than this when I found it before a few days ago. I guess some of it's getting eaten away. I don't know. Yeah, he takes dumps all along this freaking nature. So really, yeah, he's barely coming. See where that is? He's barely stepping off the nature trail, if that. Like, he's practically just turning around on the nature trail and hanging his butt off the side there and taking dumps. And again, families are bringing their little girls out, walking them past this dude's toilet, shit site, right here, and all around here. He goes little spots. He told me himself. He's like, yeah, don't do it there, don't do it there, don't do it there. People, he said, people come out here and use the bathroom in these spots here. I was like, what people? Everybody else who comes out here, I think, has access to a bathroom someplace else. So do you, actually. There are public bathrooms all over the place. but you're the only person I've seen going in and out of there, like pulling your pants up and down, you know, like you're clearly, and the only person I've seen just living out here in a Jeep without no access to a potty out here. Like I was out here, but I have a toilet in my RV. I don't have to go crap in the woods. So this is absolutely disgusting. There's like another pile I saw around here somewhere. It wasn't as covered. I was like, dear God, he's just shitting all over back here and taking pisses. And this is a family nature trail. This goes all the way back to Higbee's Beach by the bay. Like, and this is where teenagers come out here. There's like a campsite out there that teenagers go and have little parties. So your small children, your teenagers, your dogs are all coming back here and walking right past, and or probably very, very likely, especially if it's nighttime, your teens are out here fooling around, they're walking through his shit. They're pushing each other off the trail and jostling around and joking. And they're walking through his shit, likely. This is disgusting. And he doesn't need to come out here and use this as his private toilet. Again, he can park his Jeep up. See how now his Jeep spot, see how now the spot is starting to get wet? See how it's starting to get wet? It's not quite as light. That, again, that means his truck was here. I just missed him. His truck was here keeping the rain off this spot, and now it's not here anymore. I just missed him. Oh, I wonder if this is him. So, yeah, clear evidence that he's out here. Yep, there he is.
Police are looking for you.
Creep in the Jeep. I was just down here, grabbing evidence that some guy's shitting in the woods. That guy. This is the creep in the Jeep who's shitting in the woods. This guy's Steve. Just to make sure I get his... It's U29PZT and it's a black Cherokee. So it was here. It was here. And the shit is back there. So he shits back here. So just gonna go ahead and make sure that that's on video recording. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be riding my bike out here, I think, regularly to make sure that he's not living out here. I already have evidence there that he's sleeping here all night, and I have evidence in the woods that he's shitting back there. So I showed you evidence in the woods that he's shitting back there. I've showed you that he definitely comes down here and sleeps. He just went out and got his coffee, I told you, and came right back. So he's living here in his Jeep. And he's harassing people out of the area. And the police are helping him, it looks like. Looks to me, all the signs are there because they're harassing me all around the place, all around the island. And they're not harassing him. So they're not getting him out of there. I think that's really interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and move my RV now. I just parked it for a minute to walk down here and grab video evidence of all the shit down there. And to show you, he arrived just in time. So that's the creep in the Jeep. So let's go ahead and post this to YouTube and show everybody that there's some kind of corruption going on down here by the canal. And like I said, so cops like to do things like use some citizens that are not too bright or like have a screw loose and try to make them think like they're important and stuff. And like they're in a secret club and stuff. And then they use them for things like to spy on citizens in a local area. Like, so they'll set him up looking like he practically, you know, he already fits the bill for homeless, selfish dude, narcissistic dude. So they're just going to use him as a tool. They do this a lot. And they just go to this homeless, narcissistic dude and go like, you know, you're special. We see that you're special. We need you to do a special job for us or something like that. Or they make it so like, we'll get you in a lot more trouble with this and this and this we caught you with unless you help us do this. So they'll entrap him or they'll inflate his ego. And this is how they get a guy spying on citizens for them who isn't one of them. Or dealing drugs for them. So that's another thing that sometimes dirty cops do. You know, they'll steal large amounts of drugs from the evidence locker. And then they will set up drug dealers, citizens around their respective towns in the area to deal those drugs. And then the cops get most of the money. So they have a buffer between them and the drug dealing, but they get a nice big passive income out of that. And those cops will typically also then keep people out of the areas where they have their dealers operating, unless it's like the kinds of people they're trying to deal to, like kids, you know, teenagers. So yeah, and so when somebody shows up in their RV and starts saying something like, yeah, I'm trying to be an investigative journalist, switching my career over, oh, then, you know, they might want that person out of that area if they have a guy there doing some shady shit for them. That might be an explanation why. Don't you think? Why the cops seem to just let him live down there? Because he definitely was sleeping down there. I just showed you guys video evidence. He just parked up literally practically right in the spot where there was a dry spot in comparison with all the wet cement all around. So that's where he parks. That's where he lives regularly. I showed you where he goes and shits back in the woods, right next to the nature trail where I've seen families take their children. Showed you all that. So, yeah. So let's go post this to YouTube.